Today on CityCast Philly, our city has a lot of litter. One way Philly deals with trash is with big bellies. These are fancy solar-powered trash cans meant to alert the streets department when they get full. But some neighbors say the bins overflow, break down, and may be causing more litter. Today, I'm speaking with a reporter about these complaints and ways the city is trying to clean up their performance. It's Wednesday, September 6th. I'm Trinae Nuri, and here's what Philly's talking about. Mayor Rindy, investigative reporter at Billy Penn. Welcome back.
Hey, Trinae.
Hey. So you've recently wrote about these trash cans, right? They're known as big bellies, which I think is kind of a funny name for them. The city is going to install 65 brand new ones in the Alany neighborhood, which is in North Philadelphia. For those who may not have seen what these trash cans look like, can you kind of describe what they are?
Yeah, these trash cans are pretty big and boxy looking. They're squared off. They usually come as two units. One of them has a handle, and that's for trash, and you have to open it. It looks kind of like a mailbox almost. You open it and put all kinds of trash in there. The other one has two slots that they've designed and labeled. One is a circle, like put your plastic bottle in here. The other one's more of a slot, and that's for putting in paper. But if you look at some of the bins in the Old City district, in Old City, there's trash flowing out of every opening. So especially when these things start to fill up, people just try to stick stuff in there regardless of where they're putting it. And they're dark colored. They sit there on street corners around the city. The newer ones have foot pedals, so you don't have to touch the dirty handles.
Right. Why do we call them big bellies, though?
There's a company that makes them up in New England, and that's the name of the company, the name of the product. They've been called that since they debuted more than 10 years ago. I guess the idea is that they sort of consume a lot of trash because they have these solar-powered compactors inside them. And that's the big selling point, that they can compact the trash as it comes in so that it doesn't have to get picked up as often. So it's kind of funny that it's like a belly full of trash, but I guess that's the idea.
How does the city determine which neighborhood, which corner gets a big belly?
They've been focusing on business corridors and certainly around Center City, South Philly, different parts of the city where litter is a particular issue. We're the ones to get it first. And the city says that more neighborhoods are asking for them all the time because there's a huge demand for public trash cans generally. Mm-hmm. And so up in North Philly and Olney and around there, they already had some of them. They replaced them with the newer ones, and they added more in that area.
Right. Mayor, you've written about trash over the years, and you reported that the city started buying these trash cans back in 2009. So how are they supposed to work?
The way they're supposed to work is they have these solar panels in the top. So they get a little bit of power and they use that to compact the trash. So trash comes in, it gets compacted, makes room for more trash. And instead of the city having to empty them 15 or 20 times a week, they're supposed to be able to empty an individual can maybe 5 times a week, which means fewer workers having to go out, fewer truck trips, and supposed to be more efficient, save a lot of money. In fact, saving millions of dollars for the city was one of the big selling points. They also have sensors that detect how full they are. And as they get full, they can send out a message via like a cell phone radio, and it tells the streets department, oh, this one's getting pretty full. You should probably go empty it. So that's how it's supposed to work. And that lets the city design better trash routes and so forth, theoretically.
Okay, I understand that. And speaking of that money question, how much has the city invested in big bellies? How much does one of these cost?
The current cost, it's been going up over the years, but the current cost for the latest models, as far as I understand, is around $6,000, which is a lot for a couple trash
For
cans.
one trash can.
Yeah, for one set of trash cans. And I'm not sure exactly how much they spent. It has been, many millions of dollars. They do have advertising on the side, some of them, and so that's supposed to defray the cost. They say that it's less expensive than it would be without this technology built in, although there's some debate because they break down and they're expensive to repair. They get vandalized and that's expensive to repair. So the cost savings haven't been as great as the city had anticipated.
Hey, listeners, trying to get the word out about your company, cause, or event? Look no further than A-List Promotions. They're a Philly-based, female-owned and operated direct marketing business that's been around for more than 25 years, bringing your message right to where your target consumers live, work, shop, and play. A-List tackles street marketing in 5 different ways. Residential delivery, like door hangers, retail displays, from posters to flyer drop-offs at local cashier counters. Event staffing, that means brand ambassador teams bring your message face-to-face at live events. And A-List will even handle all of your bulk mailing needs, from design to printing to distribution. Oh, and don't worry, A-List provides proof of distribution for every completed campaign. A-List Promotions, we bring people to your event. Visit alistpromo.com to find out more. Now, Mayor, you've been speaking with residents and business groups who like the trash cans and some who don't like the trash cans. What are people saying?
Yeah, it was interesting to talk to some business owners up on North 5th Street, which is a business corridor in Olney. Some people were totally unaware of the trash cans, and they're like, there's a lot of trash. They should do something. They didn't even know that the city had put them up there. Some people said, yeah, they're pretty nice trash cans. They're decorated on the sides, or they have ads at least, and it's good to have that option for people walking by. And some people actually didn't like the trash cans or liked them, but with a qualification that when people who live in the area see the trash cans, they bring their household trash or even large scale trash like mattresses and stuff and just leave it next to the trash can because they don't want to leave the trash in front of their house.
Wow.
And so having trash cans actually attracts more trash. And some people, I talked to a business owner who has one in front of her business, and she's like, it's terrible. There are piles of trash around this thing all the time. So it's like the attitude seems to be, sure, it's great to have trash cans, but you don't have enough of them and you're not servicing them often enough.
Now, Mayor, do you think that this also has to do with maybe some of our neighbors not understanding like when the appropriate trash pickup days are, or how much is it the city's fault? Like, I'm trying to understand, try to understand this whole trash issue in Philly.
Yeah, it's complex.
Mm-hmm.
The problems are much larger than just Big Belly. People say there isn't enough trash pickup. The options for dumping bulk items like mattresses and furniture and construction waste are too expensive or aren't easily accessible. They say there isn't enough education for people to tell them how to handle their trash. There needs to be more sanitation workers, more frequent pickups. So really the big bellies, it seems like, are kind of one relatively small intervention that's supposed to be just dealing with litter. But inevitably, they get enmeshed in the whole larger trash problem. So people get mad about the big bellies because they say, look, they're just attracting trash. But the problem isn't really the big belly. The problem is that there's a larger trash management problem in the city, it's been this way for many years, which is why the city gets called Philadelphia sometimes.
Yeah, it's pretty dirty too. Do those neighbors have any other solutions on how better else to serve those areas?
Well, I talked to business owners. I talked to your fave trash man, who is a former sanitation worker who's very
Right.
active on trash issues
Yeah.
in Philly. And one theme that seems to come through is, again, there need to be more trash cans, like on every block instead of every third block, or however many there are. And they need to be picked up. The workers need to come by and pick them up more often, especially because people use them for bulk trash and household trash, which doesn't go inside the can, it goes outside. It stays outside. And so you need people coming by constantly. People say, why can't we have trash pickup every day or a couple times a week? The city would probably say they don't have the capacity to do that, but that's what a lot of people say.
So my last question, I just had this also, like, bigger picture. Should these big bellies maybe get bigger or just get more trash cans on street corners?
Well, one interesting thing is that I understand that other cities like Hartford, Connecticut, and some others use big bellies and they're pretty successful. And that's because the cities actually take advantage of those capacity sensors. They actually watch for when the cans need to be emptied out and design their routes around that. And it actually does save money and it does keep the streets clean. So Philadelphia, they're getting those alerts and they're not really doing anything with it. So that's one thing they possibly could do. Another is to install more of the cans. And then some people, including the business improvement districts around the city and some of the activists, say you really need an entirely different system. You need block by block trash collection facilities, essentially, almost like a dumpster or something along those lines, where you can put your recycling and your trash and it gets visited daily or a few times a week, and stop trying to mess around with these like little, fancy solar powered trash cans and do something bigger and more effective.
All right. That was Mira Rindy, investigative reporter at Billy Penn. Thank you so much for breaking this all down with me on CityCast Philly.
Sure. Thanks so much, Trinae.
We'll have a link to all of Mira's reporting on the city's trash issues in our show notes. That's all for today here on CityCast Philly. If you enjoyed this episode about litter and those big belly trash cans, tell your neighbor, rate the show, leave us a review, and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to sign up for our morning newsletter, Hey Philly, to learn more about what else Philly's talking about. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Bye.